All right. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for this week's Vendasta webinar. January is almost over. Can you believe it? I hope everybody enjoyed the first month of this year so far. We're broadcasting live from Vendasta headquarters in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and it is a lovely, relatively warm day today. Thanks for joining us. Today, we'll be discussing Ochatbot. So it's a new product by Ometrics, one of the companies behind 2 products in the Vendasta marketplace. And they have released 3 new products just this Monday, available for you to resell to your clients. My name is Cam Adrainsom. I'm Product Marketing Manager here at Vendasta. And our special guest for today is Greg Ahern, President and Founder of Ometrics. Hi, Greg. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, nice to be here.
All right. So just a reminder to everybody, if you have any questions at any point, just type them in the question and answer box. If I am not able to get to them today, I will personally follow up with you after the webinar. Otherwise, most of the questions will be answered towards the end. And with that, we are also excited to hear about Ochatbot and what Ometrics has to offer for us. So Greg, take it away.
So I started this company in 2003. I've been in the business since 1994, and we specialize in conversion rate optimization, tools, and consulting. Today, we're going to talk about 3 products: the engagement tools, the Ochatbot AI tools for business, and then for e-commerce. Currently, we have 2 products with Vendasta. This is the conversion audits that we do at a low cost. This determines what the issues and problems are. And then we have the conversion audit and optimize, which is where we start doing A/B testing and determining what's the best solution for optimization issues. Okay. So the first tool I want to go over is the engagement tool. All the engagement tools are available with Ochatbot. So when you no matter what tool you're using or package you're purchasing, it comes with all the tools. The engagement tools is a DIY type plan. So you can do this yourself, or your client can build out the different tools. All the tools start at free, and then we'll go over this later, but as you use it more, then there's a fee. There's no limit to the number of leads and sales that come through the tools. So we don't charge by so many leads that you get or anything like that. There's 5 main tools: the chatbot, which is an AI chatbot, pop-ups, exit intent, mobile banners, and other engagement type triggers, lead sliders, offer sliders, and need help and feedback tabs. I'm going to go through all these pretty quickly. So first, the chatbot. This is a quick little video. Okay, so That's kind of a quick overview of what some of the things the chatbot covers. I'm going to go in a little more detail here. So the chatbot has a number of different modules inside it. And it's good for support, gathering leads, surveys, e-commerce. It has a shopping assistant as well as pulling in the SKUs from the different types of e-commerce systems, FAQ type stuff. And while that's all happening, it's collecting all this data about the customer and about how the site's being used. So you can learn where customers are getting stuck on the site, what kind of products they're looking for, what they're clicking the most, what kind of questions they're asking the most. And all that comes in and allows you to realize you should add something else to the front of the page of the site, or you need to add this product, or the competitors are outdoing you by some information that's coming in through your customers and how they're engaging with the chatbot. The bot can reply in many different ways. So someone may ask a question and they can reply by clicking a button. It can give conversational text with branching questions and things like that. Images, video, it can link to another page on the site. It can link to another question or another intent, which is a way of, intent is an AI word for understanding the intent of what the person's asking. You think of it that way. So when someone logs into the system, they come to the dashboard. And the dashboard on the left here, we have the different tools. You get your code up here in the upper right. There's one piece of code that's installed onto the website, and that's it. All the tools work off that one piece of code. This is this usage for how many users they have and where their account is, the date range, and this shows some basic reporting on revenue and how many clicks and interactions they're having for this particular bot. This was like January 11th to a couple of days ago, so obviously they're doing pretty well. This is the view of the setup for setting a chatbot up. So we have questions which first engage the user. These questions are here. And when you're building your bot, you can build the whole thing right here without even putting it on the site yet. It helps a lot with troubleshooting and getting to look the way you want it to. Global intents, these are intents that pop in the middle of a conversation. So if someone's having a conversation about lipstick and then suddenly say, where are you located? The bot's gonna understand, oh, that's a different question, he'll let me answer that. Assistant is thinking like a shopping assistant or an FAQ file that allows you to quickly input in typical questions and answers that the bot needs to answer. Lead forms and surveys. So these are the different types of forms where the bot can naturally ask questions like, well, do you mind if I get your name? And oh, can I get your phone? And would you like me to send this to someone or something like that? And it'll take that information into a form and send it via whatever you want. Email, going into your CRM, whatever you need. E-commerce, this is where you set up the type of e-commerce platform you're having, basically connect that with an API, and then it inputs all their SKUs, images, text, pricing, all that kind of stuff. The settings is where you can control the colors and the height of the box and everything like that. Triggers and events. So these are, when do you want the chatbot to engage and trigger a certain way, with how the user's using the site and when you want the bot to engage. And like targeting is like page targeting. So you might want to ask a different question on the checkout than you would ask on the home page. And so the initial question coming here would be different because they know they're in a different area of the site. Alerts, this is, if you're just doing the simplest thing, you'd have a bunch of emails in here. More complex, we'd start putting in, sending information to HubSpot or whatever you want. And then reporting, we have 4 or 5 major reports. They deal with what's called a fallback, which is where the bot gets stuck. This helps in the AI training. And then how many times each button's clicked, what page are people asking what question. It has all the form and lead survey data. So it's backed up inside here. You can also look at each conversation that the bot had and open it up and follow the whole thread of what they asked, what the bot said, and you can figure out, oh, they found out what they're looking for, or they didn't and they filled out a form or whatever the issue was. You can also switch to live chat and point to other systems like that too. Okay, pop-ups. So the main use for the pop-ups is exit intent pop-up. So that means when your mouse leaves the browser, then this pops up. It's less intrusive, and for a lead magnet where you get a download for an ebook. But you can trigger a number of different ways, like a time on page or the position, the number of times, the third time they came to the site, then it triggers that kind of stuff. It also has mobile banners so that, obviously you can't do exit intent on a phone. There's no mouse. So instead of showing a pop-up that covers the whole screen, which Google started deranking people for an SEO perspective, you have to have what's called a banner, and it can be a third to a quarter of an inch of the screen of the mobile device. So we have mobile banners that also work, that then can engage as a pop-up or point to somewhere in the site. And there's other engagement pieces we have with this. The pop-ups have 15 types of built-in forms, so you could just ask for email, or it could be email name or email name address. There's 300 different types of backgrounds that you can build inside here, or you can do your own custom backgrounds, or you can put in your own code. It's extremely flexible. And it allows you to connect to like a downloadable file or something like that if you want that to happen. It's really good for building up your email funnels, the top of the funnel, to get those going. And then you can send that stuff to any type of email system you wanted, if you wanted to do some type of automated email sequence after someone downloads, which is a common use. Once you're in the pop-up tool, this is where you design your pop-up. You can edit it here. You can download the images and import your own images for backgrounds. This one has their own image as background. This is where you select your fields, and this divides the form. Like you can have a form half of this, or you can have a form a third of it. And that's what this does. And you can select your colors and stuff. Then you would design your mobile banner, design a pop-up if you want one. The button, the action, what's going to happen with that? Is it going to go off somewhere else, or is it going to continue to a pop-up? What's going to trigger this? We talked about that, exit intent, or when they're at the bottom of the page. Targeting, like this pop-up is going to happen on the handbag page, and we're going to have a different pop-up on the home page, so you can have multiple pop-ups triggered on different pages. And then the alerts and connections, which is, where do you want the data to go once it's filled out? Okay, so lead sliders, these and the next tools I'm going to go through are really quick to set up. You can set them up in a minute. They don't interrupt the user. The user can still read the content of the site. It just slides up and says, get 10% off, fill this out, or can I help you, or whatever you want to put in here. But what's nice about these is they don't disappear. So I'll explain that later. Again, the same type of engagement, time on page, position, etc. Oh, you can also shut these off for mobile right here. So if you don't want it to show on mobile and only want it on a desktop, you can do that too. With the lead slider, there's 3 types of pre-filled sliders. There's a basic lead slider, then there's the one with an address, or one with a comments field right here. And then you can decide where you want to put it, left, right, bottom, and here are your triggers, colors that you pick here for this. And then you have your email alerts, if you connect to Zapier or not, and what pages you want it to happen on. The offer slider is an open area here where you can put anything you want. You can put code, you can put an image. What's nice about the offer slider is when you close it, it's a little ball. So if you're offering a coupon and it closes, when they get to checkout, they can open it back up again to put the coupon in, which is one of the biggest frustrations people have, because they forget the coupon code when they get to checkout. What else? So everything else is pretty much the same. You can customize this any way you want. And again, these are quick to set up. The feedback tab, I mean, it just slides out and says contact information, and then you have the, you can pick what kind of, the 5 different motion icons and your comment. And this can trigger it, or it can just stay there all the time, and people just open it when they have feedback. And it's the same thing with the need help. So you can have a need help works the same way, except it doesn't have the emoji icons up here to rank how well you're doing. All right, so that's the quick stuff. Now let's get into the deeper stuff with the chatbots. So the Ochatbot e-commerce product, this product, we talk to your client and you a little bit, and that's all the interaction you have. From there, we will build the whole bot and train the AI every day and give back feedback on how things are going and the reporting and things like that. So it's pretty hands-off. And so this automatically connects to all the e-commerce platforms such as Shopify, Magento, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, Pinnacle Cart. I think they just joined Vendasta. So that makes it quite nice. And what happens is all this data from the SKU comes in. They don't have as much here, but you can see there's a title, the price. I can add to cart directly from here. Here's a picture of the product, or I could view details, which will bring me to the product page here. When I add to cart, it then goes to the product cart page. So we're seeing a lift of 15 to 35% in revenue when they engage with the chatbot. And a lot of that's because we've now cut down the amount of time it took them to find what they're looking for because of complex navigation, or not being able to find what they had at all, or not knowing that what you have is actually good for what they need. The conversation of the bot explains all that, and then they can know, yeah, this is what I need. It reduces support calls by answering questions and getting over obstacles. And what's more important here is that you're still going to get some support calls for the more complex, high-value type customer. The simple ones that happen over and over again, those are definitely gone. And you can make it, you can make it smart enough to take care of everything, but there's always some people that really want to, chat with somebody. As I said, all the SKUs and images and text are pulled in. Let's see. You can collect the customer insights. This is really interesting because you can find out, people keep on asking, is that a 3-legged stool? And clearly it's a 4-legged stool, but you forgot to put that in the description. That's why they keep on asking. Often we see issues like, my coupon code's not working. And sometimes that's because they just didn't type it in, or something's wrong with the site, which often happens too. Reporting on revenue. So it can show you how many SKUs are purchased, what the revenue was, as well as many other KPIs like what pages people are asking questions on, because that page is confusing or something, or the product's confusing and you need more detail on the page or inside the bot. Page targeting, we talked a little about this before, so you can ask different questions at different places throughout the user's journey. It connects to live chat systems if they want to chat live. It does branching questions, which allow you to dig down deeper into what they're looking for. So it's like, I'm looking for a car, what kind of car, a 4-wheel drive car, that kind of thing. It also has the ability to hop from one conversation to another. That's the global intent piece, where they're talking about the car and suddenly they say, does it have a windshield warranty? And it can jump over to a windshield conversation. You can send data to thousands of different systems through Zapier. And the products, this information shown inside the chatbot includes images, videos, links to URLs, text. It goes on like that. The next product is the leads and support. So this is the same chatbot, but this offering is for companies that don't have e-commerce and have a lead form for their legal service or something like that. Or in this case, it's a school for a real estate company. It could be you just wanted to do a quiz, a survey or something like that. So for B2B and B2C websites that are acquiring leads, answering questions, and handling support. It's same as before. We build everything, take care of everything, train it. The client doesn't have to do anything. We see an average of 15% lift in leads from the lead magnet, which is the same as we see with Popups as well. If it engages, this can range wildly, right? I've had 35%. It depends on the conversation and how complex the product or service that's being offered And if the chatbot can explain all that, to get over those obstacles, then they'll at least fill out the form to get more information. It engages users, helping them understand what the information is. There's unlimited forms and lead forms and surveys, so there's no limit. The rest of this stuff we already talked about, because both chatbots are the same as far as the architecture behind them. So how do you sell this? I mean, you have to find their pain point. Often that's they're spending ad dollars to drive people to their site, and they're not selling enough products or getting enough leads. And so they need to increase the ROI, and this is where the chatbot comes in, and the other tools for that matter. E-commerce sales need to increase revenue per sale. So they're selling, but they're not selling enough per sale, cross-selling, or maybe they're not selling the higher product items. We can have the results in the bot bring up higher profit items first, things like that. Not enough time to answer support tickets and repetitive support tickets. So your support team is getting tired of answering the same thing over and over again and is wasting time on this. Or they're so busy they can't really spend good time with the people who are really stuck or really need that hand holding and want it done by a human. Complex or large navigation. This is a common issue. I think in the future, the way we navigate through websites is gonna be gone over time. It's just so archaic if you think about it. I mean, it hasn't changed since I've been in the business since 1994. So the bot asks what you want and then brings you where you need to go right away. I mean, a good way of thinking about this is if someone walked into your store and they said, I'm looking for a shirt. The salesperson says, how can I help you? And they say, I'm looking for a shirt. And the salesperson says, well, I'm looking for a wool shirt, or short sleeve shirt, long shirt. Oh, I'm looking for a wool shirt and I want it to be, this color. And so the person can bring them right there to that point and sell it to them. And that's what the bot's doing. And that's kind of a good example where people can understand that the bot is having a conversation with the person when they come to the site, just like a salesperson would. Complex products is another good point where people always have a lot of questions. It's a high price product, or it has a lot of variables in the product, and they don't understand. They just don't buy it right away because they have all these questions in their mind. The bot can answer those and get around that and immediately provide exactly what type of product setup they need for their use case. And also having a lot of SKUs. You have these websites that have thousands of products on there. You can't find anything, and just cuts through that. So the benefits, I mean, it's free. You start for free. And it's very quick to set up a lot of the tools. Chatbot is not that quick, obviously. We see a 15 to 35% lift in revenue when they engage with Ochatbot for e-commerce sites. 15% revenue, 15% lift with exit intent for lead magnets, which is a great way to build your email funnel. Insights you get from customers' shopping behaviors, where they're getting stuck. Engaging customers like a person walking into the store, we talked about that example. Engages customers at the right time of the customer's journey. And as salespeople, the first thing you don't talk about is price, right? You want to see what their issue is, more of a consultative sale. This is what you need. Okay, now we can talk about price or how we're going to ship it, or if there's a warranty and other things. So then you can engage the bot at that point. At checkout, you're going to talk about different things than you talk about on a category page or a page that's offering a service. So pricing. So the website engagement tool to do it yourself starts free, 1,000 visitors. And the basic plan is 60 and the plus plan is 95 per month. So your max revenue is $168 a year for the plus plan. Where the money really is on the chatbot, where we do everything for you. So the business, B2B, B2C, lead gen, and support type AI bot, 75,000 visitors is $349. And the e-commerce AI chatbot, 75,000 visitors, is $649. So your max revenue for these two products is $1,700 and $4,100 a year. on top of that, we can also do, there might be custom things clients want, we can do extra work for them, as well as special reports. Sometimes people want to know, like, we have a high bounce rate on our checkout page. Well, we can do some analysis for them at a cost which you can mark up to figure out what is everyone saying to the chatbot on the checkout page, and then they can fix it, you know. I forgot to mention that with the engagement tools, even though it's only $168 a year, you could set up the pop-up, you could put in the, you know, the images and design it and things like that and charge for that as well. So if that's part of what you do as an agency, there's other money to be made with these, as well as like doing the whole email campaign stuff too. So lastly, we have a couple of things we're finishing up. Live chat will be part of the Ochatbot, and that's also free. So that should be launching by the end of next month. And by the end of the quarter, we're going to be able to have you view the conversation with the chatbot and be able to pop into that conversation in live chat to take over and work with that person with that particular question they have. And by end of first quarter, we're going to have multi-domain IA. So basically, you can imagine it's like if you had a franchise company and they had 5 different locations and 5 different websites, then you can have one chatbot with one AI for the 5 different domains, website domains. Another way of thinking about this is you could have a very similar or tight industry vertical. So you build one chatbot that's really smart. The AI is really smart on that particular topic, and then you sell it to the different clients with different websites, but all the AI is the same. It just gets smarter and smarter under that particular topic or industry vertical, whatever it is. So that might be a more advanced application, but this is also coming out in first quarter. So.
All right. Time for some questions here. Just steal back the screen. Right here. Okay. Let's start by answering. Can this be set up to 2 languages without having to translate everything manually?
No, there's no automatic translation system built in. We have clients that we're working with for bilingual type sites, you know, English and French. I was talking to someone who had Hebrew and English earlier this morning. Those have to be built out. It's not done quickly. I guess that's the answer. Yes, it can be done. Yes, we have systems to do it, but it's not like I'll just put it in English and it's going to be able to translate in all the different languages. So.
All right. Okay, next question here. Does the chatbot have the capability to complete an entire application with the ability to ask different questions based on answers provided?
So yes, it does branching questions, and it can ask questions as you go along. I guess my question back is, do you mean when they're filling out a field? Like when they're entering a name and then you say, well, what's your last name? And no, spell it this way, or it has to be under 7 characters or something?
All right. Well, we'll wait for...
So yeah, follow back up with us and I'll talk with them directly.
Sounds good. All right, another question. If the chatbot can complete an application, can each of the answers integrate the proper fields to Salesforce, even if the person asked or answered questions out of order or got off track and asked or answered questions outside of the application need?
Yes, so all the data would then go to Zapier, which then you map each field into whatever system you want to use. So if you want to go to Zendesk or Salesforce or whatever, yeah.
All right. Can this be integrated into Facebook, Messenger, or the page itself?
So we do have, so that's an interesting question. So there's really 3, there's always a lot of confusion about this. There's live chat and there's chatbots. Inside chatbots, you have a lot of them that are built only for Facebook Messenger. And then you have what we have, which is a website chatbot, works on a website. However, it does connect to Facebook. We can also connect to Messenger's live chat as well. So the answer is yes. It's an extra cost for us to connect it into Facebook. they have their own system, and so we have to map a couple things.
Mhm.
But in general, it looked pretty much the same.
All right. Yeah. Next here, do you have any white papers or proven cases of the chatbot, and where can we find them?
We'll have to get back to you on that
All right.
with links and stuff.
Okay. And then there's a question here around pricing. So let's go back to the pricing page here. All right, so the question is, how long is it free? Now for the do-it-yourself website engagement tools, it is free forever, basically, unless you need a bigger volume. Greg, do you want to add more to that answer?
No, that's correct. It's free forever as long as you're under 1,000 visitors. And if you have a client and it pops up to 1,500 visitors, and then that's an anomaly because they're having a sale or something, we're not going to do anything. The account doesn't shut down when they go over this limit. We contact them or you to say, you know, you had an anomaly that month, that's fine, don't worry about it. Oh, it's been like this for a while, you have to upgrade. The other thing I didn't mention is that with the do-it-myself, the chatbot leads and support in e-commerce, there's a required minimum 6-month commitment.
All right. Okay. Those are all the questions for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the webinar open for a few more minutes and wait for more questions to come in. All right, here's one more now. How many chatbots do you currently have active to gather the success number you shared with us today? And can you please go over in detail with one of them?
So because of client confidentiality, I don't want to do that. This is also being recorded. I'd be happy to do a one-on-one screen share and jump into someone else's chatbot, but just like you don't want someone digging into your business, I'm sure you wouldn't want the other. We have over, I think it's like 900 people now on our system. We have clients that have over 500,000 visitors a month, up to 1 million visitors a month with using the chatbot. So we're hosted on AWS, and our servers scale depending on load. So we haven't had any problems as far as too much business, too much access or interactions or site visits or anything like that on the chatbot.
All right. So after this call, if anybody has any questions at all, there is a contact us button on the product page. And so you can type in your questions there if you think of any more. But for now, we'll answer the rest of the questions here. Does the chatbot include templates based on successful ones?
So there's no real template with the chatbot. I mean, you have your color scheme you want to put in. You can have a different logo, things like that. But that's really the only changes you make. The rest of it is all in the conversation you're having. There are some way of engaging with a user that's better than others. For example, if someone comes to you, you want to say you're selling your service, you might want to ask them, well, are you having problems with revenue? Are you having problems with getting more sales? Or your sales not big enough? You know, and then you would say, oh, well, yes, we can help you with search engine marketing and paid advertising with that. Instead of saying, click here for paid advertising, click here for search engine marketing. And so by engaging with the first way, you'll get more engagement. It's that kind of stuff that we find.
All right. So there's a follow-up question here about proven strategies. What proven strategies have you seen across your client base?
That's kind of a broad question. So the best strategies of what I just said before, by engaging and finding out what the user's issue is, and then finding the problem, a solution for it. Having a very good couching the fallbacks correctly. So if someone asked a question about competitor XYZ and no one knew about it, it's not in the bot's brain, and the bot's going to hiccup. So it's going to come up with a response. That response, is important that it says, oh, gee, I'm sorry, I don't have an answer for you for that. Click here for live chat, or click here and I'll send a message to whomever. Or you can make it humorous, humor is always good. So you could say, oh, sorry, I'm just a dumb bot. I don't know that answer. let me talk to my maker, whatever. So, you can, having a little humor in there when there's an error, making sure you couch errors correctly and redirect them to the right, another place for them to get help. Now what happens in that situation is the next day we see XYZ came in, and then we put in the correct response for it. So it's human in loop automatically created, fixed. So.
Okay, well, I hope that answers the question. Another one here, does your chatbot use NLP, natural language programming?
Can you, Anoki, you said?
NLP, natural
Yes.
language programming.
Yes, so there are two main ways of interfacing. One is you click a button, and the other is you just type text. And so that text is all natural language processing. So, that's, so people understand what natural language processing is. That's the ability to understand conversation and interpret what a sentence or phrase is, and then come back with the correct response that matches what they're asking. That's natural language processing.
All right. Well, I learned something new today. Thank you, Greg.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's all built in. You can do that. You don't need to be a super duper programmer. There's no coding to do that. There's fields. You just put your stuff in and continue. So.
Sounds great. Okay, well, we don't have any questions as of now. I'll probably leave it open for, let's say, 2 minutes, see if there are any more questions. And if not, then we'll end this webinar. If there are any questions that arise after this, we are always open. You can either click the contact us form in the product pages or reach out to marketplace@vendasta.com. So we'll just wait for a few more questions here. All right, so one more question here. This partner says, I have a startup company that would not have any traffic yet, but they would need a custom bot that I would need the do it for me model. Since the 75,000 visitors would not be expected during the 6 months or probably right after, would the same pricing still apply for $349?
Yeah, it's the work that we have to do. That's what the fees are going towards. I mean, so it goes to server time as well, but a lot of it is building the bot, understanding the industry, doing all the natural language processing, that kind of work. If they're a startup and they have $0, then you could do the DIY plan and the engagement tools, and then just have it do some basic things. We do have support. We're certainly not going to let you drown. We'll help you out. But if they're like busy running their business and they need someone to take care of it, then yeah, that would be the $349.
All right, awesome. Wait, maybe just a minute for a few more questions to come in. Thanks. All right, it looks as though we have no more questions for the live webinar. And with that, Greg, I would like to thank you so much for joining us for today's webinar and letting us know all about your product and answering some really good questions.
It's my pleasure.
All right, and to everybody here, thank you for attending this week's Vendasta Weekly webinar. We will see you again next week, same time, Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a great day, everybody.